Welcome, my friends, to AI Connect Radio. It's another week. I hope you folks are doing well. This is where we get to chill out and talk about the world of artificial intelligence in music. I hope you're doing good. This is a midpoint in the week for many of us. And I'm curious to know how you're doing. I want to give a shout out to our friends who are coming through. KP, welcome. Welcome to our recent subscribers. And also a big welcome to our recent members who just joined membership. You're in for an awesome time, that's for sure. You know, one of my objectives in this whole thing is to ensure that music is democratized as much as possible. Contrary to the ideas of the overlords, the music overlords, the big dog record labels, and those in that world who want to keep the little guy down and keep people subservient to them. On this channel, we have a totally different posture. We want to see people be free to express themselves in music however they want, and we want to give them the tools to do that. Very recently, we came out with the genre blender tool that some folks who are in the membership have started using, much to my delight. I'm very happy about that. And today I have a very basic tool that I would like to introduce to you. It's a very, very simple tool, but it is still part of our vision, even though it's a very minuscule tool. So I'm going to jump straight into it and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm on a bit of a different setup today, but hopefully you're going to be able to follow along with what I'm doing. So the very first tool that I want to talk about can be found in this list on our website. If you go to the Phill C website, phillc.net, Phill with 2lc.net, click on, actually, let's do a refresh. Refresh and click on more, and down here at the bottom there's an image generator. Now when you click on this image generator, be aware that you need to be logged into a Google account, because this will need to utilize your Google API key, which is peculiar to you. Nobody's gonna have access to that key but you. But when you log in to Google and you click on this link, it takes you to a Gemini link. And this Gemini link allows you play around with the ultra photorealistic prompter. And this is just a play tool for now. All right. So say a musician in his studio making 5 beats. And we're going to make it an 8K hyper-realistic image. We're going to go for the almighty red. Leave that as is. Leave it as, let's do golden now. Generate image. Now, if you are connected and you do have enough credits on the Google system, it will create an image for you that looks something like what you see on the screen. See that? Let me make it bigger. Okay. So that's what this little tool does for you, but you do need to have enough Google credits. And when I say Google credits, don't worry, you may never have paid Google a dime, but everyone has Google credits unmentioned in this world. All right, this Google AI world. Let's go for another look. Let's do, instead of golden hour, let's just do cinematic. Let's do warm analog. and let's bring it down to 4 photorealistic, and let's hit generate image. And again, it will generate images, but you must have enough credit. So if you've it's making fire beats, you see how it took what I said literally and it actually put fire in the image. That is hilarious. But I just created this to give those of you who are creatives a fun little tool to work on. Okay. So I hope that tickles your fancy, gets a chuckle out of you, because the idea was to get you something get you something that's usable to have fun with right away. So why don't you chat into me? How you all doing tonight? Chat into me. I want to know how you are doing and what you've been up to, what musical adventures you've been up to. Chat into me. Ah, Eternal Recurrence. How you doing? Good to see you. How's your day, your evening, your night coming along? KP, good to see you as always. What have you been up to these days? Let me know what you've been up to. Have you created anything new? I want to see a video of you playing the piano, KP. I don't want the AI. I want to see you playing the piano. Don't let me give you an ultimatum. I'll probably say within the next, before the year runs out. How about that, KP? How about you do a duet? You on the piano and the AI playing in the background. That's really what I want to see. Because some of the work that I've heard from you is truly remarkable. And I can tell you've got a classical background. And I'm sure a lot of us other subscribers will love to see what you're working on. Like live. You know what I'm saying? am I putting you on the spot? I think I might be putting you on the spot. But I know you're a great musician, and I love how expressive you are with your art. It's truly commendable. One of these days we got to get you on the show, KP. I need to introduce the rest of the subscribers to you, and you need to tell me about your evolution, because everybody's got an evolution. Eternal Recurrence, do you play any instruments? Have you started dabbling into AI creativity? Let me know what you're doing with AI. You see, part of what I wanted to talk about today is AI gonna eventually kill us all, kill all the musicians? There's this general thought that AI is gonna end up wiping out the musicians, and there will never be any musicians ever again. I don't know what to think about that. I don't want to dismiss it as a trivial, idle thought. But the way I think about it is like this. A lot of us have just started getting our feet wet in AI, right? In the world of music, that is. What happens if in the next 50 years, I know some of you are like, oh, I ain't going to be here, Phil. I don't care. No, we should care. We should think about, we should pay it forward, just like those who came before us paid it forward. But my question is, if every kid decides, I don't need to learn an instrument, I can just have AI do it for me, what's the future going to be? Think about it, maybe these critics have a point. Oh, come on, KP. That, that is absolutely untrue. You are a vibrant, beautiful soul. And beauty has absolutely zero to do with age. Some of the most beautiful people I know are 80s and 90s, and their beauty has been tested and tried, including my mom, who is 91 this year. My mom started learning keyboards at, I think she was over 70, and she took the bull by the horns and started learning it, and started picking out melodies and having my nephew, my sister's son, teach her. So some of the most beautiful souls. Yeah, it has absolutely, it's not age dependent. I know you're just messing with me, KP. Hey, my brother Gordon, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Beatology. Hey, man, is that album out yet? Have you started dropping any of those singles, or have the music fiends started making you have second thoughts? Beatology, tell me what's going on. And what's the word on the street these days? Because, it's funny. AI is like a geometric progression. Like, Gordon, the last time you and I spoke and debated all this AI stuff, it's moved like in industry so quickly that even more and more and more and more people are talking about it. It's truly amazing. So I'm wondering, what's the word on the street out there in LA? What's going on out there? Hey, Mister, good to see you, man. How you doing? What's new in your world? You're funny, KP. I know you're just messing with me. Zoe, how you doing? Zoe Alexis 2022. I just bought BeatMaker 3. Oh, okay. Nice. Of course, you're able to upload beats to Suno, yeah, and make a song from the beat. Well, I mean, BeatMaker 3 isn't. What is BeatMaker 3? Is it a drum machine? Is it a loop machine? Tell me what it is, because you got to look at their terms of service. Now think about it like this: if I have a loop pack and I put a bunch of instruments behind that loop pack, I've created a derivative work. Nothing precludes me from feeding that into Suno. Why not? And you see, this is why I have very recently, I know you folks are going to laugh at my, you're going to laugh at where it is in the development stage, or maybe not. Maybe you'll applaud me. But this is why I started working on tools of my own that I can give people for free. You see what I'm saying? Because I want people to have access to beats they can use without fear of transgression, for lack of a better word. Because I don't want the companies coming after anyone, which is why I'm working on this beat machine. And the idea is that when I'm done, when we get to, plan is to get to 5,000 first, 5,000, and then I will unleash my invention. But can I show it to you for a second? Let me show you my little invention. Don't laugh at it because it's come a long way. It's come a very long way. I'm absolutely not anywhere close to what our brother Gordon does with beats. If he was going to make a drum machine, I feel sorry for the competition. But this is just my little humble drum machine that I'm trying to get off the ground just to help people. But let me show you what it sounds like so far. So far, so far, so far. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I've been working earnestly on it just to help the layman. Whoa, you dropped 2 albums. Wow. Congratulations, my brother. Wow. 80% of music? Really? 80% of, no, come on. How do you mean? You mean like, is that like a joke, or is that for real that 80%? 80% is, no, I know you're joking. That's not it couldn't be that radical that quick. Do you think so? Nah. All right. Let's come over here. So let me show you what I'm doing with this thing. I have all sorts of beats in this machine, and the intent is when we get to 5,000, I'm gonna unleash it. But you know, the last time you saw it, it didn't have any genres. You had to build yours. Well, now, yeah, this is the beginning of something great. I know it sounds whack, but it's gonna get better. The other cool thing I've done that I haven't seen any other drum machine do. Watch this. I can put my chords in. So all of this, I'm just waiting for us to get to 5,000. I'm going to unleash this thing, and people are going to be able to create beats of their own. So check this out. You can put chords. And then you can adjust the tempo. The other cool thing is you can change the key. And then you can choose trap, hip hop. The trap is nothing to write home about. The trap needs some help. The trap needs some milk. Okay. Now this is going a little bit up. I put some reverb. So these are iterations of what I'm working on. This is why I'm not rushing to release it, because I want to get the best. You can turn the volume up. Then I have this one that sounds like something from the 80s. You can swing it if you want. Got a swing meter for you to swing the beat. So I've got all these iterations I'm working on, but going back to Zoe's question, I want to be able to get some high quality drum machine so people can use that to feed. So it's coming along. I'm getting there. You know, I'm just being transparent, letting you folks know what I'm up to, what I've been working on, and hopefully I'll be able to release this when we get to 5,000 subscribers. All right. Eternal Recurrence says, my hope for AI is that the world can get complexity. Okay. You must be a musician. You're sounding musician-y. Eternal Resources says, trying to explore evolving melodies around the pedal point. I use a lot of, oh, no wonder. See, I knew you were a musician. I play guitar, bass, FL Studio. Huh? Okay. No wonder you're sounding like a musician for sure. Yeah. The world can get back to complexity. You see, the thing about complexity in music, it doesn't even have to sound complex. You just blend it in. But the musical IQ of the populace is on the up and up, like Rick Beato is always going on and on about. And I get his point. But I'm wondering, will it have a reverse effect like Beatology was saying? You know what I'm saying? Yes, eternal recurrence. Thank you. You see, this is why I like showing you folks what I'm doing, because I honestly hadn't thought about exporting MIDI, but you bring up a very good point. It should be able to export MIDI. So what I've done is It can export an audio, and I demonstrated this on my last video. It can export an audio file which you can upload to Suno, and Suno just 10x's it. It's just bananas what Suno does with anything. But when you give it a good or decent meter, a beat, it can do all sorts of stuff with it. Ah, you're just so kind, Beatology. Ah, dear. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. Appreciate it. trap it trap is trapped, and the mumble rappers are mumbling. I agree. Trap is trapped in a box. It's funny, while the parent is the same, the original mainstream hardcore hip hop versus trap, it has always been it has always been a lot of controversy. Oh dear. Okay, I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What am I missing? Mister. I've been thinking, here's a good idea. How about creating an app that takes music terminology such as oh dear. Ah, okay. That's a good idea. Retardando. It sound the funny thing is, even YouTube didn't understand. It thought you were using the R word. So it blocked. It actually blocked what you said because it thought you were using the R word. Isn't that funny? Even YouTube didn't understand what retardando meant. Yeah, and more emphasis. You bring up a great point, and I'm curious what KP thinks about that. Colors Vary Productions, what do you think about Mr. Mister's idea? That would be interesting. I wonder. So what you're saying is this is a brilliant idea. I mean, I could bang this out overnight. So what you're saying is kind of have an app that takes the complex classical terminology and just translates it into a prompt that the tool can run with. That's a brilliant idea. Leggero. That's a beautiful idea. I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's going to be, you see, you folks are always giving me so many great ideas. I want to give a shout out to, I think it was David. It's been a while I saw David on this thing, but David gave us the idea that a lot of the members are now using for our blender, our genre blender. It was David. So shout out to you, David, for giving me that idea. And shout out to Mr. Mister for giving me this idea. This is a great idea. Ah. Beatology says create a mental health app. Oh wow. Huh. Man, you guys are giving me some pretty dope ideas tonight. Wow. Wow. I better take notes like a good student because you know me. I am going to execute on this stuff. Let me just take a screenshot. I'm going to execute on this stuff. You guys are awesome, man. Eternal Resources Recurrent says GPT gets that stuff. Oh, really? Okay. So I should probably use GPT as part of my resources as I build that thing. Okay. Yeah, of course. GPT knows everything. Can even pass the bar exam. So I will definitely be looking into that. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's jump into a little bit of the boring news, in industry. Let's talk about that. Like this guy that I'm about to talk about, he's been very, very prominent in the news for a number of reasons. Some of which I don't know if I should even go into. You can just Google him. But we're gonna shift gears and talk about our friend. Maybe he is a friend. I don't know, but he is a friend to some people. If you just search, you know whose friend he is. But we've been talking about the Universal Warner Sony versus Suno thing, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you is it seems like we're getting closer, closer, closer. So this is UMG's CEO, Sir Lucian Grange, and he's outlining potential for dramatic expansion of responsible AI and music. So he has confirmed, let's make it a little bit bigger, confirmed that UMG is in talks, as you knew, with a dozen of different companies, not just as not just the Suno thing, but a dozen of different companies on significant new products and services that hold promise for dramatic expansion of AI music. Now, does that concern you? Anything I hear from UMG, I'm like, yeah, I should be concerned because how does it affect the agenda that others have for the democratization of music? But it seems like it is complementary. Let's go into more details. In an update to UMG staff, Lucian, the chairman, reported on the progress of the major efforts to take advantage. Uh-oh. So this word now concerns me, even though it's positive in the long run, but take advantage of developing opportunities in generative AI. So it's taking advantage to develop opportunities that hopefully will end up enriching not only UMG, but hopefully their artists as well. It follows the report earlier this month that UMG and Warner moving closer to landmark AI licensing deals with key players in the tech space, some of who we know, the UDIOs and the Sunos, which takes us back to Zoe's initial point about, you know, will I be able to put drum loops and stuff that I create or that I use into Suno? I think more of these loop companies are going to probably get more stringent on what you can and cannot do with loops because back in the day there was no AI, so you could do whatever you liked with the loop in your creativity. Now, while I don't see that as changing, but I think a lot will change. There'll be some more, probably more stringent and specific rules. UMG was first to enter into AI related agreements with companies like YouTube, TikTok, and Meta, as well as emerging platforms such as BandLab. I think KP, is that the one you were telling me about? BandLab, Sound Labs, and more. UMG Japan recently announced an agreement with KDDI, a leading Japanese telecoms company. Spotify recently integrated ChatGPT. Lucian says it offers a pathway to move fluidly from query and discovery to enjoyment of music. And he also wrote that UMG is very actively, very actively engaged. Note the word very actively engaged with nearly a dozen different companies on significant new products and service plans that hold promise for a dramatic expansion of the AI music landscape. So, look, guys, girls, tell me in the comments, what do you see the future being in this world of AI music? I kind of joked in the beginning asking, will AI wipe out the musician? I'm concerned because I love music, right? I don't want it to go away. I don't want the music instrument business to go away. I think it's good for our mental health, as our brother Beatology was saying. Mental health is important. So playing an instrument greatly helps my mental health, and I'm sure it greatly helps the mental health of others. But what do you folks think? Drop me a comment. What are you thinking? Let me know. That's your old boss. Oh my goodness. When I tell people that we have star-studded individuals on the group, they look at me like I'm who? And I told them, I said, we got someone who's worked with Michael here. Michael who? The Michael. The Michael. You already know, brother Beatology, whose friend he is. on on the East Coast. I'm not gonna say anymore. Zoe said, I looked around on YouTube and a couple of real producers said BeatMaker 3 does beats and many instruments. I haven't really used it. Yeah, what's this BeatMaker? Zoe, I'm gonna take a look and give you some commentary. I'm sure some of our friends on the call know what this is. BeatMaker 3. What is it? Oh, it's an audio and MIDI workstation. 128 pad instruments, sampling, sequencing. Sounds like a lot of stuff. So yeah, I would expect you can create music with it, and then you can take your prompt, your audio, and you can put it into Suno. Yeah, why not? You paid for it. You have the right to create derivative work from it. I went into BandLab KP and I kind of wandered around aimlessly. The thing about it is I need a teacher to teach me these things. So if I don't have a teacher, the learning curve is very steep. Beatology says I'm concerned. Basically, they're going to pay us like artists and give us 10%. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So that's the word on the street, huh? You see, this is part of my concern. You know, So not all that glitters is gold. He's making it sound like it's gonna be in our interest. These opportunities they're gonna enrich them. You know what? They're probably gonna let us do a lot of remixes, but as long as the money, you see, that's what I'm saying. It's not the morality that a lot of these people are concerned about. The real musicians are concerned about the morality, but a lot of these companies are just concerned with the bag, the end result. Who gets the final say? Who gets the Benjamins? Who gets the biggest cut? That's what they're all about, whether you like it or not. And it's funny because with the AI music wars, a lot of AI musicians think the record labels on a lot of regular musicians rather think the record companies are on their side. They might sound like they agree, but they're fighting towards very, very different objectives. Very different. Oh, you use Mobile? Okay. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, my friends, that is kind of the first part of what I wanted us to talk about. Just that whole Lucian Grange, brother Beatology's former boss. He says, "I know that we will successfully navigate as well as seize these opportunities." Uh, these are some pretty veiled, aggressive words. It's funny because when they use it, I start overthinking, right? And that these new products could constitute a significant source of new future revenue. What about you, Solution? Uh, it's not just the it's not just the artists and the songwriters. What about UMG and you? What about you? Come on now. He stressed that UMG will only consider advancing AI products based on models that are trained responsibly. That's a that's a Pandora's box right there. But trained responsibly could mean a number of things. It could mean that it will not infringe on some of the copyright rules set down already. Like I see a lot of people making tracks that sound exactly like other artists, or I should just say like mainstream artists. That's not responsible training. And I know that there are a lot of rogue AI companies. Be rest assured, my friends, while you and I have ethics about doing this stuff. We don't want to steal. But as Spotify demonstrated, there are a lot. There are a lot of fakes. So Lucian talks about this. He says he also welcomed the move by Spotify to remove AI slop. Whether we like it or not, you know, the word AI slop is definitely justified. Let me tell you the kind of AI music that I'm against. I'm against AI music that is done for money primarily. I'm not saying people shouldn't create art, but the primary goal of art should not be money. It should not be money. The primary goal of art should be expression first and foremost, and it should be to share an idea or a concept with a broader audience. So it should begin with the human. Oh, as one of our friends on this channel, one of our creatives said, this crazy stuff happened in my family. Uncle such and such ran away with aunt such and such, like scandalous stuff. And this individual wrote some pretty tear jerking songs that will make you, think about life. Now, what made me really perk up listening to those songs was the reality. You can't make that stuff up. So this individual is not like a full, I mean, he can play some instruments, but that is not like a mainstream, full musician. But he took his idea and he used AI to help him craft a song. And it's a very touching song. And it's like the kind of stuff Hollywood, it's like a Hollywood movie, but this was his life he was sharing. I am not against people who don't know how to play instruments creating songs. That's the whole idea. But do you know that there's some musicians, they are so in the clouds that they think it needs to be gate guarded. You can't just jump in and create a song. Why not? It's the same way people can write books now. The app takes your idea, and again, we all have different levels of tolerance for AI. Don't get me wrong, but why do you want to police people? If they want to do that, leave them alone. Leave them alone. The person in the nursing home who wants to create their own music, they haven't even played a single instrument since they were born. They're in their 80s, their 90s, and they're having a blast with this thing. So, are you now going to selectively police who creates? Give me a break. I'm not even going to see anything further. I'm not even going to see anything further. Let's go back to what Brother Beatology said here. That's why I'm putting as many. There you go. That's why I'm putting out as many albums right now as we can, because I bet they're gonna get. Yeah, They're gonna get what they put into it. Yes, yes. I know. It's funny. You and I are thinking on the same wavelength because I'm like, it's not going to be this easy to work with Suno. A lot of people are not thinking like us, but I know that Suno is going to have another layer of control. There's just no way it cannot continue like this. But here's the other thought. China is going to have an answer to Suno very soon. Very soon. And when it drops, just know that that's the beginning of the wars because it's going to be a very different world. With China, it's very different, and they're very meticulous and they're very good. And once they get how to do something, they're going to be a big source of competition. Just like in the world of art, they came up with an answer to remember the likes of what do you call them, Sora. They went very quiet. Everyone went quiet when they came out. Was it Kling? What was it? The one from China anyway. Everyone went quiet. Now Sora 2 is raging and everyone's excited again. But and I like it. It's a healthy, feature war. I like it. But even when Suno does what you're saying, Gordon, I think there's still going to be other AI tools that are, you know, what will even be like the worst if some AI tool in a totally different country has zero guardrails. Because look at Sora 2. I'm quite surprised at how lenient they are. Like you can create anyone, and they're not like that in Sora 1. So I don't know why they're doing this in, maybe it's because it's the, like almost like the beta. But I see some AI tools being rogue AI tools. They already exist. They're just not popular, and maybe there'll have to be an outright ban of those in the United States. But they, just mark my words, people are working on it. All you need is upload a track. They're not going to have any gates. They're going to be as corrupt as possible, and we're going to be seeing some of those. Sad to say, in my model, for those of you who were not here last week, I talk about this in my model, a model. So if you go to the Phill site and you look for my AIM AI in music model, the AIM taxonomy, we have categorized the level of tolerance for AI. And guess what? Down here we have the most corrupt of all. This will be the most corrupt of all. Level 7. Level 7 is going to be Hall the hologram. And again, it's going to be like a revenue stream for people. It's just going to be, well, let me get my own level 7 AI. It's like the stock market of music. It's able to see the ebbs and the flows, what is latest, what is greatest, what is getting people buzzing. And level 7 will be the human out of the loop. And your AI is automated and it creates songs without your influence, just to get you got it, to get those plays. Probably Spotify will be able to stop this kind of model, but I can see this model taking shape, and you won't even know when the model has created video and audio and is getting likes and getting plays. Anyway, that's a whole different story. So while we are thinking about UMG having more control, I think they'll have control up to a certain point, but there's going to be a lot of competition in the marketplace. Yeah. Beatology says they're going to force Suno to sell them the company, and I hope not. I really hope not. But they got the bag to do that. They've got the power to do that, because if they make them a crazy offer, they make them like a 50 billion, like a Muskish, the way Musk wanted to get hold of Twitter, now X, one of the most ridiculous names to call a company. But the way he did what he did, you're right. You got a point. They have the money to pull it off. They have the financial resources and backing. Absolutely. You bring up a good point, but I really hope not. I don't know what is in, the current owners' minds. The current CEO seems like a decent, balanced minded individual as far as wanting to democratize music. The way I look at Suno, I do not see a company that is just in it for the money, because we have a lot of musicians in the firm, and people who seem to just take pleasure. I mean, I've seen them on video creating music there in their little music room there. So I know that they got real musicians. I hope it doesn't end like that anyway. I really hope not. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Eternal Resource says you can create your own DWP of any VST and import them. Okay. As long as you can handle the limitations of direct wave. Why could Suno not become a Spotify clone? You're right, KP. Suno can absolutely become, and it actually is becoming a Spotify clone. Let's jump on that statement, KP. Let's come over here and go to our favorite site. This is a site that didn't even exist in my vocabulary a year ago, to be honest. But look, it's suggesting plays, and then it's got the radio. Have you been to like Suno Radio? I don't want to get a copyright strike, but they've got a radio where you can play jams. You see, you can play all these jams round the clock, and then you see this is where Suno has an edge on one up on Spotify in that you got people commenting real time, and you're very correct. It could be the future. It could be. Absolutely. Mr. says, Phil, is a called Kronos featured in Suno? And if so, how many different electric? Okay, good question. You bring up a very, very good question, Mister. So again, for those listening, Mrs. question is the called Kronos featured in Suno? And if so, how many different electric keyboards are featured in Suno? So the way Suno works is actually not by having samples. It is not at all like that. And I've covered this in a previous video of how AI learns. The way AI learns is by taking associations of variables in music like timbre, like pitch, like harmony, like rhythm, even in vocal quality, throatiness, and all that. It studies millions and if not billions of data points or sources, and then it makes various interpolations from it to understand the music. So when you hear an organ, it's because Suno knows what the waveform of a B3 is, or he knows what the waveform of an electric guitar with distortion is like, or he knows what the waveform of an electric, just a crunch sound guitar, or he knows the sound of a Rhodes, you know. Or if you describe the frequency or the sound well enough, it's able to mimic that. So everything you're hearing is just waveforms, which is why a lot of people, a lot of musicians, they don't understand that the AI companies are not sampling someone else's music and sampling their voice. No, it's waveforms, intricacies in waveforms. But to understand each waveform for each instrument and how it flows through the timeline of the song is had to study millions of songs. So the way it learns is very different. Now, to Mrs. question, if I played my called Kronos, well, I have an Oasis, not a Kronos, but I feature one of the Kronoses in a music store in some of my videos. So if I play that Kronos and I get the waveforms and teach it to Suno through my audio prompt, then Suno knows what the Kronos sounds like and it can mimic that. It's ridiculous how it's able to mimic waveforms. So whether it's a node, whether it's a Korg, whatever it is, if it hears it and it understands that waveform, it can recreate it. Like some of the saxophones are so realistic; they're actually scary. They scare me. Some of the saxophones are scary, man. I'm like, John, are you in there? Yeah. Train, are you in there? Bird, are you in there? Kirk, are you in there? You know what I'm saying? So that's how it learns. Yeah. It's the waveforms. It's the waveforms. So honestly, Suno has all the sounds you can imagine. And I don't know, I don't I'm gonna give you some. I'm sure you've done this beatology, but have you taken any of your raw beats? I know you probably don't want to do that because your stuff is under record label and all that. Or maybe you have some stray beats that are not that don't belong to any label. If you take those stray beats and you feed them, you cook them in Suno, Suno can make those beats sound as or if not even more crazy, especially when you ask it certain things to do. There's certain prompts I don't. probably don't want to announce them publicly, but it's not that they are unauthorized. They're authorized, but there's a lot you could do in Suno. There's a lot. I think even the creators of Suno, I wonder if they're fully aware of how crazy their tool is, because I have done things with Suno with my own music that just makes me shake my head. I don't put a lot of it out because I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock at how awesome Suno gets concepts. It gets the concept of rhythm. It gets, like, how should I explain this? You know, neo soul is quite an interesting genre, and there's a lot of backbeat playing and a lot of delays. Suno understands that, but it also understands the intricacies of like bebop, a totally different genre which has other idiosyncrasies. And when you know the music, you can actually hear some of these things in it. Beatology, you know this because I know before you can even put out an album. I need to go to your YouTube. I need to go to your YouTube and check out what you've been up to. But I know you know this as a musician. I know you probably dig in what it has done with your creations for you to bring out. I need to check out what you've been up to though. Oh yeah, the sax can be pretty scary. Yeah. Thank you, Eternal Recurrence. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So most Mr. I haven't really checked out your page. I think for the most part I've checked out everyone else. Maybe not Eternal Recurrence. I haven't checked out Zoe's page, because it's a community. The whole idea is to come like a potluck, share ideas, let us know what you have going on, in your world of music. Let me go to Mr. Mister's page. I want to see what he's been up to. What he's been up to in music. Have you put out anything recently? Let me check. Let's see what you've been up to. Ah, okay. Interesting. Okay. I need to go check this out. I see my sister Jill on there. That's good taste. That's good. That's good taste. That's cool. Good deal. All right, let's see what else. Let's see who else I haven't visited recently. Let me go to Brother Gordon's page. I haven't been there in a few weeks, a couple of weeks or so. I normally swing by to see if he's released those albums. Okay. No, I already saw this. I already saw these two. I'm looking for the new stuff. Where's the new stuff, Beatology? Where can I get the new stuff? Is that on? Okay. Do you want to? Oh, I see a lot of shorts. Okay. Okay. Some rather colorful titles. I need to go check that out. Okay. Okay. Zoe Alexis, let's see if you got anything new out there. You got anything new? So, are any of you doing? Ah, okay, okay, okay. Are you singing on it? Is that your voice, Zoe? Okay, you're using some of the available tools. Okay, all right. The imagery looks rather realistic, which is why I thought maybe you were actually singing on it. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. I'll check that out. Beatology. I'll check it out. Nice, nice. So you already know. Just go to the YouTube channel, and if you click on the email, but you need to let me know so I can check it out when you sent it. I'll check it out, man. I like to see our people get creative because where AI creatives connect, and creativity is all about originality, taking your story, taking your idea, putting it out, using video, using audio, makes no difference. I encourage you, don't allow the naysayers beat you down. These naysayers, what they want to do is beat you down into submission. And I'm not talking about people like Beatology who've been in the game for like forever. KP's been in the game for a while, and so many others. But what I'm saying for the younger or the little guy, and when I say little guy, I'm just talking about someone who just started AI music in the 70s, like yesterday, and they're having a blast. And then you have the trolls saying, "Oh, it's garbage, it's slop." It's not slop because it's your story. You have a story, you're putting it in the medium, you're sharing it. So don't let the bullies, try to shut you up. This website, by the way, is called Music Week. They're out of the UK. It has some of the latest and greatest, like the story from Lucian Grange. So shout out to Music Week. They got some good stuff on there. This was just published yesterday, so this is new. And Beatology's former boss. When I read some of his quotes, uh, and just like let's see how this plays out. But going into a few other things I wanted to show you here. I have it looks like producer AI is letting more people in. So if you're not in producer AI, do you want to try it now and see if you can get in? Because I'm curious to know if they've opened it up for people. Because I had one invite and I've given it away to someone. So I don't have invites to give, but I'm hoping they open it up. But producer AI is pretty sick. It's pretty sick because what I like about it is the interactivity. I've demonstrated this so many times. So they use the word session, right? So like you're in a studio. So you have this session and then you can ask the producer a question. You can go into voice mode. Producer, you got to allow it. Producer, you can actually talk
Hey,
to it.
welcome to the studio. What are you working on today?
You tell me, what are you going to work on for me? Have you got any new sizzling beats you can cook up something modern? Not too aggressive though.
All right, let's cook up something smooth and modern. How about a laid back electronic beat with a mellow vibe, some crisp hi hats, maybe a warm sub bass, and some atmospheric synth layers? We can keep it groovy and chill, but still fresh. Let's get that cooking.
All right, let's go. You see, what I like about it is the interactivity. It's just fun. I go to producer AI, n- not for not to go full blown, you know, Quincy Jones level, but just to be a layman and to just vibe with the tool, amuse myself, listen
Here
to
it comes.
something new.
Let's check out that smooth vibe.
And there's your stuff. That's simple. It's fun. I like going here. It's decent. It's decent enough. You get what I'm saying? It's decent enough. It's decent. So I don't know what you guys think about producer AI, but that's a that's a decent vibe right there. Now, are you telling me if someone comes out with a jam like that and it hits, you're gonna you're gonna be mad at them? A kid could do that. A kid, a 5 year old could do that. So, for those of you that haven't encountered Producer AI, add yourself to the list. It's another fun tool in the arsenal that we talk about on this channel. Another tool we talk about is UDIO. UDIO very recently announced this AI after hours thing that they're going to be doing. And if you click on it, it tells you AI after hours is an immersive listening lounge hosted by UDIO during LA Tech Week, a one night only event for creatives. That's in your neck of woods, Beatology. This rooftop party is where you can network with the Udio team. You should check it out, man. Fellow enthusiasts while vibing to a live DJ set, including music created using Udio's technology set against the backdrop of Santa Monica. AI After Hours is a seamless blend of tech, culture, and nightlife designed to introduce guests to Udio's tech without the panels and pitches. RSVP to mingle with the team, including Udio co-founder and CEO Andrew Sanchez and more special guests. Yeah, that's where you go to network. I like what they're doing. It's very similar to what I want us to do virtually, and hopefully, as time goes on, we can begin checking out some of our music right on this channel. I have that in mind. I'm thinking, how do we go through? Because I know some of you, your music is out there. I don't want to be flagged by your record label or just by the system that says you're stealing from another YouTube channel. So I don't know how to navigate that, or I may just have to cut out all the music stuff for the replay. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, all right. Thank you, Mister. Check out my email in the channel description. You'll find it. This conversation with TUNEE. Okay, Miami Blues. How you doing? Yeah, I've heard about that, but I've never gone there. Let me go there. What's the website? Let's check it out. Tuney. It always I know it's like for tune, but I just because I'm a seafood person, I just can't get tuna out of my head. It sounds like tuna. Tuney. Is it tuney.ai or tuney.com? Tuney AI. Oh, it's tuney.ai. Okay. Tell us, tell us, MB. Sell us on it. What is the difference between Tuney versus Suno versus Udio versus Moises versus Producer AI? They're getting to be so many, and with all these tools, it's going to boil down to how they were trained. So I don't waste time, MB. I've already gone in there. I've already gone in there. Let's see. Start with a feeling. I'll handle the rest. Start cooking. Okay. Uh, a cool neo soul song about work life balance. It even uses the term cooking, like I do. Uh-oh. It's got a cat here. Talking through your ideas, unlike instant generators we designed together. Ah, that vibe hits. Okay, I think he wants me to choose one. Laid back, you already know what I want. Laid back groove with jazzy keys. Okay. And it's thinking. This is new. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, MB. Let's see what it can do. Awesome choice. The laid back groove with jazzy keys will capture the smooth neo soul vibe. Now, honestly, like these tools, I have nothing against them, but for me, my creativity, you get what I'm saying? My creativity level at this point is at an all-time low. I'm being creative in a different way by listening and interacting. But see, it just took the law into its hands, wrote wrote the song, wrote the song for me, which is not my style. I don't approve of that very much. I like having more control over my lyrics, especially. I'm now going to generate the song based on your vision of a relaxed neo soul track about finding balance. Okay. So it's giving me two. Very, look, very Suno like. Very Suno ish. All right, check this out. Between. Okay. Uh oh.
Morning coffee getting cold again. Deadlines dancing in my head.
Hmm.
Phone keeps buzzing, emails flowing. Wondering where the peace has fled. Used to chase the golden hours.
This is decent.
Now I'm chasing what I've lost. Every victory feels hollow when you're counting up the cost. There's gotta be a middle ground, somewhere between the rush and rest. I'm learning how to breathe again, finding space between the noise. Slowing down don't mean I'm giving up. Just remembering I got a choice.
Not not bad. It sounds disturbingly polished. And it's disturbingly polished. I mean, how do you know a human didn't write it? You know what I'm saying? It's disturbing. I have to be honest. I know I'm beginning to sound like one of the skeptics because my heart is really I'm really a musician at heart. And while this sounds good, it does concern me. I know Suno may even be worse, but whenever I get to a new tool, I'm like, oh no, this is sounding so good. It's sounding at Suno version 4.5 level, which is disturbing out of the gate. I don't know how long TUNEE has been around, but it's sounding very, very polished. Let's listen to the second one. Here's the second one. What do you folks think about that? Drop me a comment in the chat. What do you think about that? Oh, the party stuff. All right, let me put that in the chat. Hang on a second before I forget. Like I'm a kid in the candy store at this point. I was just I'm just looking at everything. I'm looking at everything on this Toonie and wondering, oh my goodness, how are we gonna navigate all of these? It's like a team of Michael Jordans. How is there gonna be hope at that point? I don't know. This is why I like talking to you folks, because you give me answers that help everyone else. So you tell me, if you have a team of Jordans, can they win? Because we got so many great tools now that it's getting disturbing to even me, who is the big democratization of music guy. Because MB, I appreciate you showing us this, because this is this is sounding like Suno version 4.5 plus. I don't even know what to do anymore at this point. I'm like, I guess I just stay in my lane making music that I believe in, because I can't compete with AI. I can't. It's crazy. Look at that. Even though it's not so, let's be, without sounding elitist, let's be honest. That's not roots level Philly Philly Neo that that's not my brand of Neo, or our sister Jill, who I just mentioned. But it's decent. Let's listen to this. Breathe again. Let's listen to this.
Morning coffee getting
Okay.
cold again. Deadline
It's like you heard what I said. I came back with a vengeance.
the phone keeps buzzing, emails flowing. Wondering where the peace has fled. Used to chase the golden hours. Now I'm chasing what I've lost. Every victory feels hollow when you're counting up the cost. There's gotta be a middle ground, somewhere between the rush and rest.
Okay.
I'm learning how to breathe again, finding space between the noise. Slowing down don't mean I'm giving up, just remembering I got a choice. Work and wait, the world won't end if I take a moment for my soul. Balance ain't about perfection, it's about feeling whole. Sunset painting my window gold, but I'm still staring at this screen.
Wild. All right. All right. All right. All right. This is this is a high quality sound, Miami Blues. Do you use this tool? Do you use this a lot? Because it's sounding very, very good. It's sounding very, very good. That's wild. Yeah. Um, I don't know if that is I don't know if you can do that. I don't even want to demonstrate that because that's not my ethos. So I don't want to ask it to give me a particular artist, but can it do that? Because I ain't gonna try it because out of respect for my fellow musicians, I ain't gonna try that. But if this thing can do it, that is a problem. That is a problem. I think I'd rather resort to asking Google as opposed to doing it myself. And somebody tried, not me. Uh, to I really hope not, because that would be very Sora 2-ish. But it says no. It says it is often blocked by AI platforms due to the legal and ethical concerns. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take it that it cannot. Thank goodness, because that would be troublesome. So you already know I have philosophies about that. Um, there's actually some YouTube channels that they take an artist pretty much as you could say it's their voice. Sometimes it's pretty much their song and it just sounds too much. And YouTube is coming for those people. Let them have a field day because AI will be used against AI. There will soon be the policing of such. I like to be fair. I wouldn't like it if someone did that. Now, in the style of the sound, to sound like a band, while that's not my thing, I'm trying to sound like myself, but I guess sounding like Weird Al, he pretty much did a couple of Michael Jackson songs, pretty much just swapping out the words. So I'm not trying to be Big Brother policing people, but I think it could be troublesome in the future when AI is now used to police that. So, and again, it all depends on one's objective. Some of us aren't in it to make the money. Some of us are in it because we truly enjoy making music and being goofy with the music. And we just want to make songs that people enjoy and that we enjoy. So, but yeah, this has been a rather interesting episode. And I want to respect time because we just pretty much hit an hour and a bit. And I know it's late on the East Coast. You folks, my goodness, do have mercy on me. I didn't mean to go this hard today. Um, so Suno version 5 woes. Let's be honest and let's open. So this is we're gonna end with this, okay? Let's talk about Suno version 5. Looking all pretty and ready for production, but when you get into version 5, I just want to be honest. You got to be ready to iterate and iterate and iterate because it hallucinates. I'm really looking for the next version. This is beta, and I know are using it and are talking about how it hallucinates will help. 4.5 seems a lot more stable. Any of the 4.5s would be more stable. The only thing is that the mix generally is not as robust, but there are ways around that. Okay. The hallucination becomes very troublesome, especially when it morphs. It reminds me of a Marvel cartoon of, the Incredible Hulk transforming from a normal, it just sounds like a normal voice, and then the voice becomes a saxophone, or the voice becomes a guitar. Just crazy stuff like that. Or you hear many voices muddled up together, or it becomes very quick, or it does something a vocalist can never do in a million years. So those are some of the problems that I've been having with version 5, and I just want to be honest and address them. And while I love Suno, um, I'm saying this so people don't get discouraged, but I have had to throw in the towel for the night. True story. Trying to get mileage out of this thing, and it just wasn't obeying me. I got fed up. I went to bed. I woke up the next day and I continued from where I stopped. It's as though whatever crazed Annabelle demon was hiding in version 5. It was cast out by the next morning because the next morning it was giving me note for note, chord for chord. It was giving me what basically blew my mind. So you just got to stay at it. That would be my suggestion to everyone, how to deal with version 5. And then the final topic, will AI kill music? I need you to keep commenting, keep letting me know what you think. Um, when this is finally published, put some comments there. Let me know what you think. It's good to have honest, open debate. And if we're scared, like, uh, I have to be honest, sometimes I'm like, how can I preserve, the part of music that's dear to me, which is instruments, collaboration, interaction. even having a drum machine is, in my mind, a step above pressing a button asking AI to do everything, which is why I was showing you the drum machines earlier that that I've been working on. And I appreciate all the ideas that you shared with me. Really appreciate it. Eternal Recurrent says AI Cribs Connect would be great as a method of feeding it type beats. Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. For better training data, I agree. Yeah, Gil Scott Heron, R.I.P. Great musician of his time. No, I didn't. I didn't. No, I know you. I know you're not engaging in that. But I'm just saying if it can do it, because I didn't know. I didn't know if it was able to pull it off. There's some rogue AI tools that can actually pull that off. No, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about you, my friend. Appreciate that eternal recurrence. Hey, Marcus, how you doing? It's been a while. What can you imagine possible in a Suno version 6? Well, to be honest, Marcus, Suno version 6, the MIDI game has got to be tight. The MIDI game right now is weak. It is very, very uh, deplorable in my estimation. And I'm being aggressive and hard, with Suno, because I know they probably will listen to what we users say about it. And I want to say, first of all, I applaud them on even considering being able to convert from wave to MIDI. But the stuff Suno does is so complex that to get MIDI to do that would require some insane amounts of genius and programming. So what I would like to see in six is for the MIDI. Look, if they get their MIDI act together, wow, it's all over. And when I'm talking about their MIDI act, I'm not just talking about some straight drum loop. Have you heard the drums that Suno comes up with for some of the more complex types of music? It's bananas. It's ridiculous. There's one groove I came out with, and one of our subscribers said, that's Vinny. That's Vinny on the drums. And I'm like, it definitely does sound. I mean, very few people can pull that off on real drums. Now imagine taking that and being able to distill it to MIDI. Wow. Like I've heard some bass lines that if you could get that on MIDI, that could be an entire learning subject for a bassist. Like some of the slaps, look, let me be honest. I have had to stop the tape, well, tape. I've, I've had to I had to put the pause button on and I go back and play what Suno did. And I'm like, and I'm talking about bass. And I'm like, wow. I, true story, I've had to learn from AI. That's why it doesn't scare me. It just inspires me. I listened to some of the bass that it came up with. I'm like, wow. And for the very first time, I understood some of the things I had heard, but I never could never figure out what the bassists were doing. Some really high end stuff. So if they're able, as Marcus is saying, version 6, I see the world of MIDI opening up. So Suno can be the MIDI capital of the world. If they can attain that status, everyone else is dead in the water for now. And if they're smart, they'll do it quick. That's what they would want to clean up for version 6. I'm fine with version 5 just being okay, perfect all the hallucinations because the quality of the stuff is so good. But for version 6, the MIDI has to be like world class. Like if you hear some of those tom drum rolls, some of the musicianship in Suno is such high end that if they're able to get it to MIDI, it could become a learning school. There's so many things that you could do with MIDI. people don't understand how much of a game changer MIDI is. MIDI is MIDI is the space between blemish and imperfection in Suno and perfection. Because you know what those of us musicians who have the higher end libraries are gonna do. Yeah, you already got it. We're gonna take the MIDI and we're gonna play it through our insane libraries. Like imagine all those bass lines. And I actually, was a bit successful with one MIDI stem download. But after that it's just been miss, miss, miss. But imagine getting something like that and playing the bass through the Trillion from Spectrasonics, which is pristine, clean, or putting it through Omnisphere, or putting it through just any of these higher end VSTs. Your mind will be blown. Your mind will be blown. So for me, that would be version 6. What else would I expect? Um, I don't want to give Suno ideas. They got to pay me. I think I've already given them enough for the night. I'm not, I'm not giving them any more. That's enough. That's enough for the night. Yeah. Okay. More interested in studio. Okay. Says eternal recurrence. Want to be able to feed it MIDI. That's actually a very, very good idea. Yeah. You're giving them ideas, eternal recurrence. They're gonna pay you, man. Now you dropped it. They've heard it. Yeah, that will be insane. That would be cool as well. I think a lot of my fascination just comes from the musicianship that Suno demonstrates. And if I could get MIDI of all that exactly as is, you know, I know I'm sounding like the skeptics, but a lot of the skeptics says, Phil, you're advocating that musicians be put out of business. Look, people already stopped calling a lot of the higher end musicians in studio because they couldn't afford it. But if they could get the MIDI stem of a world class drum performance, you know what's going to happen. Who can tell me? Put in the chat what is going to happen when Suno can deliver MIDI stems that are pristine. You know who's going to be killing the game? It's the session musician that can MIDIize what you're looking for. Those are the ones who are going to be killing the game. It's going to change, or the ones who can, as Eternal Recurrence is saying, play their MIDI into Suno and have a crazier output. Those are some really great thoughts. So if you go onto the channel, I don't put it in because the bots are always sending nonsense. But if you go to the home page for the channel and you look for the information, contact information, it should be there. Because I always get these people saying, "Oh, we want to do a deal with you, Phil." And I'm like, no, not today. I want to do deals with air companies right now. Oh, it can't be seen? It's supposed to be there. You're supposed to be able to see how to contact me there. Okay, I'll put it on the wall. Let me see if I can put it on the wall. I'll put it up on the wall. That's what I'll do. It should be able to, if you click on contact, it should be able to show you my email. The only thing is I'm months and years behind on my email. You got to tell me. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. But I would love to hear your stuff. And if you are in membership, just post it on the wall. Those of you in membership, I actually set up a membership string for you to post stuff on the wall. I think only 2 people have done that. Or 3, including KP. Only 3 people have done that. Yeah. I get so much mail. I'm submerged in it, but I'd love to hear what you got. Or you know what? Just paste it in any of the comments and I'll always be able to see those. Okay. All right. Nice, KP. KP, I want to see you on the piano. I've given you my, if you want to give me a Christmas present, give me a video of you playing the piano with AI playing the other two hands. You play two hands, AI plays the other two hands. That's what I want to see. Wow, Omnisphere 3's hint. Oh wow. Isn't that exciting? I'd like to see where they're going with AI. I know they're a very progressive company, so it'd be very interesting to see. Uh, okay. Did I miss any questions? I don't think so. Did I get all the questions? Let's see if I missed any questions. I was so amused by all of your comments that I didn't even look in the question pool. Let me look. Oh, there's nothing. All right, we'll go ahead and end Q&A. All right, my friends. Always such a pleasure chatting to all of you. Zoe, let me know when you've done something new with your, what did you call it? You, what did you call it? BeatMaker 3. BeatMaker 3. And I appreciate you letting me know about all this stuff. Miami Blues, thank you for, you see, you inspired me. You actually made me check this thing out. I'm like, because I was so sure I'd heard you mention this thing before. So I had to go check it out. That's that's really what made me get on tonight and check it out. And I'm glad I checked it out. TUNEE is, it's like, it's gone to the point that I'm about to cry uncle. I can't keep up anymore. I can't. Oh, TUNEE's out of China. I was just talking about China a few seconds ago. Is TUNEE the answer to Suno? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ugh, gosh. Uh oh. People are raving about TUNEE on the Suno AI Reddit group. Someone says on Reddit, it shows Suno has some way to go. I don't know, my friends. I don't know. I don't know. This world of AI music that we're in, there's always a new threat. If you've watched my video talking about the whole dynamic, we have a threat of a new entrant. We have UMG trying to be one of the big dogs, Warner and Sony, and then we have the indie artist who's not really much of a threat, but demanding rights. It's one crazy collection of so many different forces for AI, forces against AI, um, just a little guy trying to make their music in the bedroom for no one else but them. There's so many customers and players in this game that I think it is forever going to be in turmoil. And after AI, there's going to be something even greater than just the AI music. I wanted to show you this page. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it right away, but it was an AI conference somewhere in Asia, and I think it was China actually, and there was a robot playing the saxophone. A robot playing the sax. So there's always going to be the next crazy thing. The next crazy thing is going to be AI now wants to play live music in the embodiment of a robot. I don't know. I would be just done at that point. But jokes apart, don't you guys and girls see that it is very polarizing? Hey, Mister, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. That's so kind. Thank you. upon being an awesome member. I appreciate that. Thank you. You have been one of the biggest supporters and greatly appreciated. Yeah, so the way everything is going to play out, my friends, I just don't know. We just have to see it come together, and we just play it day by day. Some days I feel I have the answers, and then I go on a tool like TUNEE and I realize it's gonna be it's gonna be a it's gonna be a lifelong battle. Lifelong battle. The only thing we can do as creatives is be sincere, share our stories. Everybody has a story. Share your story, whether it's the story of being, you know, shot at by an MK as a story I have, a rather colorful story. I have colorful stories I have of escape, you know, whether it's those or whether it's just a story of, like, I very recently released a single, Coming Home, which talks about whether you were in the military or you are just on the road, a road warrior going tour after tour or date after date for your work, then you're finally coming home. That was born out of a lot of emotion. When I write these songs, I write them because I want to share a story, or something hits me and I want to share it. And that should be for all of us. That's the best we can do. Whether there are 20 more Toonies or 5 more Sunos, yeah, it's getting to the point that I don't care anymore, because I like in the beginning you almost want to master everything. You know what I mean? You want to master every good tool, but you can't master every good tool. It's like you want to be a master of Pro Tools and Logic, and come on now. Choose one, ride that thing hard as like a good cowboy, rein it in, whack it over the head when it's being done, bridle it, and you know how to use the tool like no one else. That's my 2 cents. That's how we need to look at these AI tools, because they're getting so good. They're getting really good. Yeah, very scary. Okay, my friends, that's it for tonight. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming through, every single person who chatted in. Mr. Eternal Recurrence, shout out to you. Brother Beatology, shout out to you. KP Colors Vary Productions, thank you for coming through tonight. Miami Blues, and everyone else who came through. Thank you for the gift, Mr. Appreciate you. All right. I look forward to seeing you again next week. This week was fun. I love it when you chat in and when I can hear what you're thinking. And I want to also say thank you for sharing your ideas. Everybody who shared an idea of anything, thank you so much. Thank you for the ideas about what I should build next and what I should do with the drum machine, the crazy drum machine that I'm working on. Thank you for the suggestion of MIDI. Appreciate that. I think that was from Eternal Recurrence. Thank you for that. And Brother Beatology, you're absolutely correct. I need to build a mental health app. You're right on the money. I couldn't have thought of that. And this is the second app idea you're giving me, because you gave me that app idea. Shout out to you for the what was it? The subgenres. Did you see it, Gordon, that I'd done it? I'd done it. I take your ideas and I make them happen. Yeah. So all the ideas you shared, I want to say a big thank you. I'm going to kind of hang back for a few more seconds. So feel free to chat in. Any other questions you have, and I'll get to them as soon as I'm able. All right, you folks take care. Have a lovely night, lovely morning, lovely evening, wherever you are in the world. Take it easy.